Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's game plan, we'll put the spotlight on the teams that got early wins in the second round of the UAAP Season 85 Men's Basketball Tournament.
We'll also bring the latest updates from the NBA regular season, including the highly anticipated first win. Wow, congratulations, of the Los Angeles Lakers. And we'll take a look at the Gilas pool preparing for the upcoming FIBA World Cup qualifiers happening in November. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. The UAAP men's basketball action is back for round 2, and the Tamaraws and Fighting Maroons are off to a good start. To talk about the more exciting action over the weekend, we have with us basketball analyst Coach Willie Wilson. Coach Willie, how you doing?
What's up, Coach?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, guys, even though it's on Zoom.
We just gotta have you. Wherever you were, we're gonna have to bring you over. I'll start off first with FEU because I can't think of a more important win for them in the season, especially with how their first round went. Come from behind win against UE. What do you make of it?
Well, they got down big in that first quarter, 23-8. I don't know if it was overconfidence. I don't want to say overconfidence just because they were on a 2-game winning streak. But, usually they start off slow. They were able to cut that lead down into that second quarter thanks to Cyrus Torres and all his threes. What he had, 11 points in that second quarter. And they pretty much leaned on him to get them back in the game. And then come that second half, it was the LJ Gonzalez show as usual. And, he's their vet. He's their veteran leader, their point guard. And it's only right for him to take control in that third and especially in that fourth quarter.
And Coach Willie, how dangerous is this FEU team? Well, they're 2-5 in the first round. Now they're 3-5. But when all their shooters are clicking, how dangerous is this FEU team?
Oh yeah, you hit it right there on the head. Once their shooters get going, and especially Cyrus Torres, they have other shooters there. I want to say Brian Sahonia being their next best shooter, but Cyrus Torres is taking about 11, 12 three-point attempts a game, and if he hits on 40% of those, the chance of them winning the game goes extremely high because any of those misses, they have a great offensive rebounder in Pat Chuente, who I think he had about 9 offensive rebounds against NU, and then I think he had another 7 here against UE. So the chances of that going back in the basket is still pretty high.
Yeah, I'd like to take this moment to apologize to one of our co-hosts who is watching right now that we're not in costume, even if it's Halloween. We'd like to dress as the monikers of our UAAP schools, but then at the moment, I don't have my Robin Hood outfit ready for myself. Now, speaking of more of these schools, of course, UP had a loss in the first round, and one of them was against NU, and it wasn't a revenge tour in a way, and UP finally getting the job done. And what was different this time around, Coach?
Well, I mean, it could be a revenge tour because remember, a lot of those UP players came from NU and played alongside those NU players. But what they did was they got it done on the defensive end. They held NU to only 13% shooting from behind the three-point line. And if you can do that, then again, we talk about shooting being so key, then your chances of winning the ball game are really high, especially if you have high-level scorers like right here, what you just see there, Xavier Lucero, and should I say Cyril Gonzalez, a high-level scorer?
I mean, Coach, when you talk about Cyril Gonzalez, let's talk about him. He had a great game, dropped 12 of his 15 points in the fourth quarter. Of course, guys like Harold Alarcon and Jerry Abadian, they were in foul trouble. But Cyril stepped up. I covered that game. So is UP just really this deep that out of nowhere, Cyril just goes bonkers from the outside in the fourth?
Man, I want to say deep is the abyss. That is what UP is. They have just, okay, here, you come in and play. Okay, you come here and play. and they can just throw guys out on the court and expect them to to contribute. This guy, Cyril Gonzalez, sat out last season, and he comes in this season, and all he's asked to do is just bring energy and lock down on defense, and he does that. But then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, he explodes for what you say, 12 points,
12 and
that's
15.
Just, I mean, yeah, that's just a bonus, and I can relate because all of my points throughout my entire career were all bonus.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, Coach. But, when you look at, we're going to have to look at the future for these teams as well. Just really quickly here, since we're running out of time, Coach, just start with FEU first. Against LaSalle next time around, and if you're FEU, you're feeling good about the role that you're having against a team that is struggling a bit right now.
Mm-hmm. They're going to need to start strong. They can't have that slow start like they did against UE, because this LaSalle team wanting to bounce back, coming off of that loss to Adamson, they want to start strong. Don't give LaSalle any confidence. Remember, what happened to FU to start the season was they lost their confidence. They weren't seeing their shots going in, and it affected them. It was a domino effect through the different games. That could be what we're seeing from LaSalle.
Well, I wanted to ask Diego more about the UP Adamson match also on Wednesday, but we're running out of time here. But then I think it's safe to say, Jegs, that UP coming on the roll here should be an exciting one for them too.
Well, they're going to try to keep their momentum, and you have to watch those games because never miss a game, as the UAAP is live on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, Signal Play, and Smart Gigaplay every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Coach Willie, thank you very much for your time. Oh, we'll still have you.
Oh yeah,
in
don't
the
send
next
him
one,
away.
though, because we'll talk about this after the break. We'll go through some NBA regular season action today as the Los Angeles Lakers finally add one to the win column. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. Basketball never stops in the NBA, and we're breaking down the latest games in the ongoing regular season, including the first win finally of the Los Angeles Lakers. That's right, Slow Cap Pau. Still with us to talk NBA hoops is NBA Philippines All-Star analyst Coach Willie Wilson. Coach, congratulations. Your Los Angeles Lakers are no longer winless. I mean, how are you feeling, Coach, about that? Slow clap?
Yeah, I'll give the Lakers and I don't know. It's a slow clap because you asked me this off air. Is it a fluke? And I'm afraid it is. I'm afraid it is.
I was about to
Ask
ask
me
you,
why.
Coach. I mean, LeBron with 26, AD 23, and Westbrook with 18. Is this just a Halloween costume just because,
my goodness.
against Denver? Or is it the start of scary hours for the Lakers?
No, it's not the start of scary hours.
Okay,
I mean, all right,
okay.
look, on the season, they're shooting less than 26% from three. Okay, or now it just got pushed up to 26% because they shot 43% from the three. That is not going to happen every single night. Not when you have Lonnie Walker going 3 of 5 from the three, Westbrook going 2 of 4. I mean, these guys aren't going to shoot that way every single night. So expect that number to hover around the 30, probably even lower than the mid 30s from the three-point line. And if you can't shoot from the three, you can't win games in the NBA.
Well, you know what? Let's focus on the future sixth man of the year, Russell Westbrook. Because coming off the bench,
Hey, you know how to get under my skin with that. and you had to show a picture of him too when you're introducing the Lakers. I'm like, why him?
well, anyway, Raw plus minus.
I mean, he played well.
Plus 18, to be fair, off the bench. All joking aside, Coach, Russell Westbrook, a lot of people are saying that this is the formula for the Lakers to find some measure of success this season. Having come off the bench, having contribute from there, lead the second unit, even though it goes against the DNA of a Russell Westbrook. Do you agree with that? And two, I mean, is there anything that they could do with the piece that they have so far to find a good solution?
Okay, so with him staying on the team, this is the lesser evil. Okay, I hate to use that word. I mean, especially it's Halloween, but having him on the bench and leading that group, you can surround him with some semblance of shooters with Austin Reeves and Matt Ryan, and just let him do his thing, and limit his minutes to around the 30-minute mark. So if you want to have any chance of success with him on your squad, it has to be with him coming off the bench.
Jegs, you're also an analyst for NBA Philippines. And of course, when you look at how the Lakers are doing right now, do you have any semblance of hope for them? Okay, to be fair, good win today against Denver, against a team with playoff aspirations. But then, are they dressed up as a false dawn?
Hey, I think it's the start of good things happening for the Lakers. I'm going to go the other side.
Okay.
I think Westbrook off the bench is going to work for the Lakers. I mean, you saw him. He's getting his groove back. He was, hitting the shimmy after buckets, and that's the Westbrook we want, the happy Westbrook inside the court. And I think more than anything, it was mental for Russell. And now that he's playing with the second unit, he has the ball more, he can create more. And I don't know, I think it might be the formula for the Lakers. What do you think, Coach?
Oh, well, Coach.
I'm listening to you, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm trying to believe everything that you're saying, but from everything that we saw last season and everything that we've seen in his career, he only had one turnover, or two turnovers in that game against Denver. I've seen too much Russ to believe that this is what we're going to get for the rest of the season.
I like how our producers picked a photo of Russell Westbrook dunking over my Utah Jazz last season. Hasn't happened this year, guys.
Was that on
That
Gobert?
was the Gobert one
That's
also.
crazy.
It doesn't hurt me as much now.
Crazy.
Anyway, moving on. We're going to go talk about the Phoenix Suns, especially Booker, who drops 30 on his 26th birthday to get one over the Rockets. Of course, a lot of people had questions about the Suns early on, especially with all the drama that they had off the court. And of course, right now, still looking like a really good team, clutch in the fourth quarter. Coach Willie, early season favorite for you in the West for them?
No, no, not with Chris Paul another year, another year older. Again, they couldn't do it last season, and he was younger. He was still doing Chris Paul things. They're definitely not going to do it with him older. And then again, they just gave DeAndre Ayton that big contract.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the hunger
definitely.
will not be there for DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, that's right. Especially now, Chris Paul, as you mentioned, I think D-Book's gonna be one of the tasked players to
Yeah.
get more the load for the Suns. But let's go on to the East now with the Milwaukee Bucks going 5-0
Yeah.
in the NBA. Are they the favorites for the East? Is this a revenge tour for the Bucks?
Only undefeated team in the
No,
league so far.
that is my favorite for the East, and it was my favorite even last season, barring injury. You remember Middleton went down. We had that long stretch with Brook Lopez out. Brook Lopez, and people don't understand this, how key he is to Milwaukee's success in a whole. Because again, yes, Giannis has improved his 3-point shot, but you still need spacing. You got Bobby Portis there spacing the floor. Drew Holiday is a monster.
Amazing.
And when you need buckets, he'll give you buckets. When you need him to lock down the other team's best scorer, he'll do that too. This team has every single piece that you need to go deep in the playoffs and win the championship.
Coach, just really quickly here, last on the Bucks, because obviously you mentioned that one of the favorites over in the East, but are they one of the favorites overall to win it? Because there used to be a time when we thought of the Bucks as just a really good regular season team, and in the playoffs, not much there. But that has changed in recent years. So based on what we've seen, are they a clear favorite, an early favorite here
And
for the chip?
to add to that, they're 5-0 without Chris Middleton.
Yep.
He's still out.
Yeah. No, okay. I want to say yes. Obviously, Boston is playing solid basketball this early, and I kind of predicted that Boston would struggle. I wrote an article about that
Yeah.
they're one of the teams that would disappoint. And I still think that with the situation going on there, the coaching situation, that's going to hurt them in the long run. So I still put all my money behind Milwaukee. They've done it before, and Middleton will be coming back. And once they get him back, they have that mid-range maestro,
Yeah.
Chris Middleton, and they're going to be poised to make that finals run.
Coach Willie, thank you very much for joining us, even though it's via Zoom. We love your presence no matter what. Really appreciate you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so after the break, we'll find out who made the preliminary roster of Gilas Pilipinas for the fifth window of the FIBA World Cup Asian Qualifiers. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. back. You're watching The Game. The Samaang Basketball ng Pilipinas released its preliminary pool ahead of the FIBA World Cup's November window. The SBP says Gilas players who are seeing action in the Japan B-League will return to the country on November 1 and 2 for another tour of duty for the national team. Gilas Pilipinas will take on their Jordanian rivals on November 11, then play the Saudis on November 14, Manila time. This coming week, Gilas Pilipinas will take advantage of having additional reinforcements in the pool following the arrival of Dwight Ramos, Kiefer Ravena, Thurdy Ravena, and Ray Parks, also the pending and potential inclusion of Kai Soto. The SPP says Gilas might be able to practice a few more days before leaving on November 7. Soto is still playing for the Adelaide 36ers in the National Basketball League in Australia, but the SPP is currently in talks with Soto's camp on plans of having the 7'3" cager in time for the 5th window. Final 12 will be known on the eve of Gilas' scheduled game against Jordan. As usual, that normally is the case. We find out the lineups maybe like 24 hours before.
Right.
But Jeg, syempre, you look at this roster that we have, the 20-man pool, continuing the recurring theme that we saw in the previous window, PBA players, UAAP players, B-League players, and of course, others involved, Kai Soto, Francis Lopez, unattached, also part of it. And it's great to see all the stakeholders come together for the national team.
I like this, hybrid lineup of mixing PBA players, pros, B-League players, and, UAAP players. It's a good mix of veterans, young guys like Carl Tamayo, Kevin Kiambao, Ange Kwame. We'll be able to learn from guys like Junmar, Japet Aguilar, Poy Eram. And I think, it's a good balance of developing for the future and also trying to be competitive with these pro guys in our Gilas program.
Not much changes from the last window. For those wondering kung sino yung nawala doon, it's Roosevelt Adams and of course Jordan Clarkson. Busy kasi si Jordan Clarkson helping the Utah Jazz.
Your
being
team.
One of the best teams in the West right now. But then you look at the lineup that we have and obviously not much changes. Familiarity is going to be a big key here.
That's right. I mean, the chemistry of playing together, in practice and in actual games, that's going to be a big thing for Gilas. They've played with these teams, Jordan and Saudi Arabia. They're going to play these teams as well. And I think more than the familiarity from each other, the familiarity of them playing these teams, playing internationally, will help them in the long run when you talk about this Gilas team. And chemistry is going to be huge, especially trying to learn how each other plays.
Of course, with the fact that we're playing windows right now, can't necessarily have the long camps
Right.
that some people might have wanted. But then with this team, with a bit of familiarity, with the fact that they are actually meeting once a week to try and get a system together and hopefully have something more sustainable moving on. Syempre, what do you have to make of the fact that this group, as they get better, should we expect a bit more fluidity in the performances moving forward?
I think that's always gonna come when you have practices, when you have time playing together, whether in practice or in games. I think fluidity will always be a part of that. Knowing the tendencies of your players inside the court will always be a good thing for you because you're gonna know what to do in certain situations. And with a lot of PBA guys there, they also know how each other plays already because they're playing in the PBA, and then eventually they're gonna play with the B-League guys who have a lot of international experience as well.
Away and away trip here, of course, our Carlo Pamintuan will be part of the group there, covering them up close, and we'll try and have better and more coverage of them as the window happens, and you can catch that here on The Game, of course, and as well as our social media pages. And of course, Jegs, they'll want to see the game too.
And talking about coverage, tune in to One Sports and One Sports Plus to witness Gilas Pilipinas in action as they go up against Jordan and Saudi Arabia on November 11 and 14. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.